Hello everyone, my name is Clantis and welcome to the Clan. So without further ado, let's get into today's video as we go to the Gauteng High Court in the sense of Meyiwa murder trial. While we are in a trial within a trial to determine whether these so-called confessions that were made by Muzi Sibiya and Bongani Ntanzi are legit, that they should be admitted into evidence for the main trial. Of course, as you guys already know, that these confessions, they have requirements, and two of the requirements is that it must be freely and voluntary. And of course, with undue pressure or whatever the case might be, or coercion, all that stuff, in order for the confessions to be admitted into evidence. But guys, do me a favor, before we go any further than this, smash me the like button because it triggers the YouTube algorithm and it helps the channel to grow. And the channel is growing indeed because you guys are smashing the like button, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to say welcome to everybody that is new to this channel, because you are now the honorable member of the clan. Welcome, warmly welcome. So guys, because I have a live that I'm going to be doing with a friend of mine, I'm going to read from the script because the live is starting at 8. And it is already, let me show you, it's already, let's see, what time is it now? As you can see, 7:59. I don't know if you'll be able to see, 7:59 already, so I'm already late. So I've already sent a message to say, listen, I'm going to be about 15 minutes late. So I'm just going to read from a script so that I can be as quick as possible with this one. So you guys already know that Muzi Sibiya took the stand today to speak for himself, to tell his side of the story, and also clear whatever discrepancies that were made by the witnesses for the state. And definitely he's going to be supporting his attorney, his lawyers, the statements that he had placed on record. So let's go ahead, and basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is just doing an overview of what transpired in court. So this is what I said. Muzi Sibiya locked horns with State Prosecutor Sibanda, who was left circulating in one spot, and ended up taking a stick and tried to flog a dead horse. Nothing new there, because the state does not have a case, even with the trial within a trial. And the poor Sibanda tried his best with the energy that he came with. And I was like, ooh, apa. And Sibiya brought him down. He was up there. Sibiya was mellow, calm, and he was telling his side of the story as he remembered it. Muzi Sibiya vehemently denied any involvement in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, and he was clear on that. One could actually feel how this could have been any of us on the 30th of March 2020. So we need to be very lucky, or at least feel lucky, that on the 30th of March 2020, it's not us who are in Muzi Sibiya's position right now. The police were done with the public pressure and Elias promises to catch the killer of Senzo Meyiwa, as if he didn't know that they were in the house, in the Kumalo house, on the 26th of October 2014. Like, really? So I can just say, because he knows the primary suspects were with Senzo Meyiwa on the night he got killed by one of the people that were with him on that fateful night. Muzi Sibiya just happened to be the unlucky one to be smeared with this death. If the police were so sure with the suspects they got in Sibiya, why then with the violence, the tubing, the electrocution, the kicking, up until he messed himself? I agree with Advocate Ngome Zulu that there was no specifications as to whether he did number 1 or number 2. All we know is that he messed himself, and then a change of pants was done together with some shoes. Why take Sibiya to places to make him point things? You know, I never thought about that when they were doing the so-called pointing out, that these guys, not only they are evil, they will just take you to a spot and make you point, and somebody takes a photo. And then all of that now, it is considered as evidence that yes, he took us to a point out, all orchestrated. Who thinks about these evil things on another human being? I cannot understand. What do those places got to do with the death of Senzo Meyiwa? And since they were taking him to point at these bushes, valleys, and lows, why not take him to the Khumalo house where the murder happened? There was a time where Zandile Khumalo, I think she mentioned about the police coming on over and over and over to them. And this is what she said actually. I heard that the people that were in the Khumalo house at a later stage, they were subjected to role playing. So meaning that they had to replay the day of the 26th of October 2014, and they needed to, whatever it is the role play was, where Sands was sitting, who was sitting where. Now the question is, did they do the same with Sibiya? Why didn't they take him to the Khumalo house and made him do a role play? How did they enter the Khumalo house? Listening to Sibiya, you can tell that he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He has no idea why he's even there. While I was listening to the state's cross-examination, I could not help but ask, when Sergeant Mukhola took and went into Sibiya's phone and came across the name of Umkhulu, is the state saying that Muzi was allowed to have his cell phone on him onto the 31st of March? Because I would assume that when the police arrest you, they take away or they confiscate or they take away any possession that you have in your pocket. But no, the state asks Sibiya that on the 31st of March, Sergeant Mukhola went into his pocket, took a cell phone, and then went through the phone and came across the name of Umkhulu. And then my question is, why this prosecutor is so blasé about that particular question and not mention to the court whether Mukhola, when she went through Sibiya's cell phone, did she get permission, a warrant to search somebody's property? She just went through it, which goes to show that Sibiya is also correct to say, my rights were not told to me. If a police officer can just walk into my pocket, yanks out my cell phone and goes through it without my permission or a court order, what makes you think that they would have read his rights too when they arrested him? What makes you think that every time they booked him out and booked him in, his rights were read to him? And because Sibiya is very clear on that one, that his rights were not read, period. And I saw that Sibanda tried to circulate around the fact that Sibiya had forgotten the chains of events that happened on the 31st of March 2020, forgetting that he just told the court that I was subjected to beatings, tubing on the 30th of March when he got arrested. Clearly, by the 31st of March, probably his brain is so traumatized and so fried and so frightened for his own life that he only remember the most important parts about that day. It's human nature, survival mode, that I'm going to survive this day. I'm going to do now what they asked me to do. Hence, he signed the so-called confession. Hence, he went wherever he was taken without protesting. But he was vehement about him being involved in the death of Senzo Meyiwa, that he wasn't. And this Sibanda person, I don't know what he was trying to do. You know, when somebody tries so hard to convince themselves that they're actually intelligent, that's Sibanda. That is him in a nutshell and a definition of a person that tries to convince themselves that I'm smart. I'm going to outsmart this guy. And little did he know that Sibiya, Sibiya is not somebody to play with. The way he was so strong and so firm with this particular prosecutor, I was impressed. I was impressed. So I say here that shamelessness of the prosecutor not telling the court whether Sergeant Mukhola had permission in a form of a search warrant to go into suspect's cell phone and have the audacity to go through the suspect's cell phone without impunity. This goes to show that Muzi's constitutional rights to remain silent were never read to him. Though the state tries so hard to discredit Sibiya's humanness, where humans do tend to forget, But no, not this prosecutor. He was trying to capitalize on the fact that, oh, is it possible then on the 31st that you forgot that your rights were read? Listen, on the 30th of March 2020, his rights were not read. So it doesn't matter the following day whether they were or not. The fact remains that on the 30th, when he got arrested, his rights were not read to him. That is a constitutional right violation already. So when it happens the following day, what happened the first day? So I found that to be very un-lawyer-like of Sibanda to ask that question with such confidence. Even Rata at one point assisted a witness and told the defense that human error does happen. It was quite interesting to see Judge Rata quiet on this one. I noticed that Judge Rata decided to bury his head in the sand when Sibanda repeatedly questioned Sibiya on a question that the accused already answered. Sibanda even went as far as threatening the witness that he will keep the witness longer on the stand until he answered all his questions, or that particular question. The question was asked and answered, and at this point, Sibanda was badgering the witness, meaning Sibiya. But Judge Rata was quiet. Yet when the defense do the same thing, he would tell the defense, he already answered the question, what do you want him to say? But no, not with this one, he was quiet. Rata was quiet. Interesting, eh? In the case of the state witnesses, he came to their rescue by telling the defense that the witness has already answered, let's move on, or he would call for progress. I also noticed that Judge Rata did not look at Sibiya not even once. Not even once. Sibiya, as he was testifying, but with all the state witnesses, Judge Rata would look at them and he would even smile at them, make them feel comfortable on the stand. But no, not with Sibiya. But then again, it is not surprising why Sibanda is flogging a dead horse in Sibiya. That's because Sibiya is a very strong witness. He knows what happened to him. Whether you try to invalidate what happened to him, he will tell you, I know what happened to me, and I am here to straighten the record about all the lies that were told by the witnesses that Sibanda is trying his level best to try and impose on Sibiya. To a point where I think I do say it here. I like when Sibiya told Sibanda that there are two sides to a story. The 5 police witnesses that took the stand, that's their own side of the story. I am here to tell my side of the story. And I was not arrested with anyone else to be my witness or testify on my behalf. They had 5 of them and they were able to concord whatever it is they concorded. And he's here to tell the court that that did not happen. It's a lie. I noticed Sibanda literally sank deeper into this abysmal despair when he heard Sibiya say that, like, now there are 2 sides to a story, I'm here to tell mine. And so you could tell that Sibanda was like, okay, now what's my next question? Sibiya was clear on the events of the 30th of March. Of course, on the 31st, he can be forgetful because of the trauma he may have suffered on the 30th. And therefore, as a human being, it is, as a human being, it is understandable that he would forget some few things because maybe he was not paying attention to some of the things. Maybe he was paying attention to the handcuffs being too tight and making him swollen as well as bleed at some point. I found Sibanda reaching when he kept asking Sibiya about the possibility that he also forgotten about his rights read on the 31st of March. And I was like, bro, it doesn't matter on the 31st though. The rights should be read the moment he was getting arrested. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to a lawyer. All that stuff that's written in section 35(1) of the Constitution. But no, they didn't. So now why should it matter on the 31st? So I say Sibiya's rights were not read to him on the 30th of March. There's already a constitutional violation. Therefore, it does not matter whether or not his rights were read to him on the 31st of March, 2020. The point is, Sibiya is clear that his rights were not told to him on his arrests. Period. It was also quite interesting to observe the state mixing chains of events with that of Bongani Ntanzi and confidently thinking that he is scoring favors from Judge Rada when the issues were confused. Not even Judge Rada, who always tells the court that he is a good listener, himself couldn't correct Sibanda, maybe deliberately or maybe he himself became a human being and forgot exactly whose story was that. Was it Sibanda? Especially the story of, what's that place called again? The one with AE, whatever it's called. I have a problem pronouncing that area. And Sibanda says, I was never taken there. I was taken from Vosloorus straight to the police station in Diepkloof. I mean, is it Vosloorus to Diepkloof? It was hilarious. I could not stop laughing. I was like, whoa, Sibanda, Mr. Clever, on papile. Sibanda brought you down, sir. How do you try to invalidate someone else's experience by telling them that this is the officer that arrested you? Now, Sibiya is like, no, I was not arrested by Buthelezi. I was arrested by somebody else. He said, the person who remembers very well arrested you. You tell this person that, no, I was actually arrested by someone else, not this person. But you still hold on to this dry bone. Now, what is the Sibiya supposed to say? Like, yeah, you are right, I was arrested by Buthelezi when he was not. Honestly speaking, I don't know what is Sibanda doing. All I see is a desperate man trying to revive a dead horse, at the same time trying to convince himself that he's doing a great job. Muzi Sibiya's cross-examination continues tomorrow. I don't see the state making any headway whatsoever. Sibiya knows his story and he is also steadfast in his story. He knows what he went through. He knows the chain of events. He's the one who experienced them, irrespective of who has already testified, because of course the police are going to cover up for themselves and each other. Sibiya isn't an easy nut to crack, and Sibanda learned that the hard way today. So basically that is the short and long of my script today. This is exactly what I observed in court. And tomorrow is going to be very interesting because I think Sibanda will come back with guns blazing because they realize that Sibiya is not easy. He wrestled with Sibanda. Sibanda was up there and Sibiya was like, I'm going to keep at this level, sir. You can go all the way with Pape. I will be here and I will tell you my story of what happened to me on the 30th of March, the 31st of March, the 1st, and so on and so forth. And it is the truth and nothing but the truth. I don't know how this is going to pan out for the state, but I still say Judge Rata is not going to rule in favor of the state. These so-called confessions are going to be thrown out. Period. Constitutional violations were messed up. Then a whole prosecutor tells the court that a police officer went into the pocket of the suspect, took out his cell phone, went through it, and came across a name without a search warrant, without permission. He doesn't mention that. So why should, therefore, the Constitution say, yeah, no, find this confession as legit? The requirements were met. It was done freely, voluntary, and there was no undue influence and stuff of that nature. And then we move on to the main trial with this evidence in hand. It cannot be. I'm sorry, it cannot be. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you are watching, please smash the subscribe button and don't forget to also smash the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking the channel and supporting it financially. I highly appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to everybody that's also watching the ads. I'm beginning to see the analytics with the ads showing up. Like, yeah, y'all are watching the ads as much as you are clicking the like button. Thank you guys. Much love to you. Mwah. Also, do not forget to share this video far and wide, and also leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what did you see or experience or thought about today's cross-examination of Muzi Sibiya. What did you think of Sibanda? Okay, the less about him, the better, because I don't want to laugh. Also, see you next time when I drop a new video. Goodbye.